Hi everyone, Simon Götzen here from MTG PowerTools, and in this video I'm going to show you how to price stock with custom strategies. I've already connected my card market account, so let's head on over to stock pricing. These are the cards I want to price today, and before heading over to auto price all, we will check out the pricing settings in the top right. Here you can see that you can define your competitors and your pricing strategies. What I'll do now is I will define a completely new one, and let's assume I want to compete with the German power sellers. So what I do is I pick Germany as the country. I pick a very good minimum reputation. I pick a power seller level. And I could even limit the minimum amount of sales, but I'm going to leave that open. They are power sellers after all. Next, I can define a pricing strategy based on this competitor. I add a new pricing strategy. Let's call that power sellers. And the base is based on competition. The competitor is the newly created German power sellers. Rank means how high you want to appear in the results compared to your competition on card market. So if I list a card and let's say the rank is 3, I'm going to be within the 3 cheapest results for that card or comparable cards. I can also define a modifier, so for example a percentage point, 90%, 95%, or I can define a modifier in cents, so for example 5 cents that get deducted from the 3rd cheapest offer. Okay, now we have the German power sellers. We have our pricing strategy that competes with the power sellers, picking the 3rd cheapest one. And finally we have the option to do price suggest. Now for price suggest, I will actually define another competitor. We will see later why. So here, let's say I want to compete with all professional sellers. So I leave countries open, minimum reputation very good, minimum level professional. So now we have the German power sellers and we have all professionals to compete with. I will pick all professionals for price suggest. By the way, this settings page is also where you define your bulk settings, but we are not going to use that now. Pressing escape brings me back to the stock pricing page. And what I do here is I click on auto price all. You can see that the cards are priced at 1,000 euros, so I've just listed them. The strategy is going to be based on the power sellers. Then I click auto price and I wait a few moments while MTG PowerTools looks up all the cards and applies the strategies. All right, out of the 5 articles we tried to price, 1 article could not be auto priced. We'll come to that very soon. The Zenith Flare in foil, we found a German power seller. Remember that this is the strategy that we employed. That's selling a foil Zenith Flare near mid-English for €1.07. We are going to sell it for €1.02. The Zenith Flare in non-foil actually gets our bulk pricing because it was too cheap to look up prices. We had an excellent Shark Typhoon in English that is offered for €6.02 by another German power seller. So our price is going to be just below €6. Finally, we had a playset of Luca. And this is actually something special. If you want to list a playset or 4 or more copies of a card, MTG PowerTools will only compare it with other sellers that also offer 4 or more, simply because the customers are going to look for playsets of that card when possible. Another German power seller to compete with. Okay, let's press escape. And we see that Grim Monolith still hanging out here with 1,000 euros. So we didn't manage to update the price. Now, when I click on the price tag, the app is going to show me the results based on our all professionals competition. So if you can see here, we see German professional sellers, Dutch power sellers, Spanish power sellers, another German professional seller, and an Italian power seller. So it turns out there is simply no German power seller that's selling a near mint Grim monolith, as those are quite rare. However, we find a German professional seller and we find power sellers from other countries in this view. So the cheapest offer being 140 euros, and then it continues at 176. We could, for example, decide that our price is going to be around 160 euros. So I type here 159.99, save and close, and I've priced all my cards. If I reset the filters now, you can see that all these prices have turned yellow, bulk pricing for Zenith Flare, and the computed prices for our 4 remaining cards. And that's how I apply a pricing strategy to a bunch of cards. And then if MTG PowerTools doesn't find the prices for all your cards, you can still apply the price suggest functionality or manually just update the price to what you want it to be. Finally, I click Publish Changes to upload those 5 cards to Card Market. And that's how you work with the pricing settings to build your custom strategies for auto pricing.